what is then leadership for you?
If if you would type in the word leaders and leadership in our favorite friend's search engine called Mr. or Miss Google, in less than 6.8 seconds, you're going to come up with more than 500 hits. Now, we don't have time in your program to cover all the 500 million. So I'm going to give you something very practical. Leadership is getting things done. Leadership is influencing people to get things done. Leadership is carrying the responsibility of growing the people and then having them do the things they are supposed to do with the shared goals, and then in the process, shaping them and molding them to become the better people that they can be through the things that have to be done. It's as simple as that. There's not a lot of complications, but it's getting things done. It's getting people to get things done as well, and guiding them through the process.
What would you say would be the top three problems that, they normally face?
That's a great question. The top three problems, as far as my sphere of influence is concerned,
Mhm.
it has always been the lack of emphasis on the importance on leadership training. And I
Mhm.
will explain this in a little bit. You see, leadership training is considered as a soft skill. Now, how can you respect anything that is labeled as soft? The second challenge to that is that for somebody who is a left brainer, analytical, logical, numerical, financial person, you will always have this tendency to think, so, oh, okay, we're going to get Francis Kong to train us on leadership. It's good. Heard a lot about him. How much will it be? So when the HR person says this is the investment, oh, it's so expensive. What's the ROI? How are you going to explain it? How can you compute the rate of returns and the interest placed upon leadership training? And yet, when things happen or things that you expect do not happen, and you dig deep into it, it's usually a leadership issue. But nobody would want to admit it.
True.
When things are going well, sales and marketing and operations get all the credit, right? But
True.
leadership is not mentioned. But actually, the leaders did very well in leading them. When things are not going well, nobody would admit because I'm the poor leader. So
Mhm.
it's always something else. So leadership now has been ignored for the longest time, except now. Now I'm swamped with a lot of invitations for me to do leadership training. My Level Up Leadership Master class, virtual. I'm gonna have my fourth run on August towards the last week. Right now, I'm running at 100 plus, and these
Mhm.
are 3 days, 3 hour per day session. And now they're beginning to understand, hey, it's a leadership issue after all. So that's problem number one. Number
Mhm.
two, attrition. Companies are losing good people, not because they don't pay them well, not because they don't have the perks and the benefits. It is because of poor leaders. The two top reasons why good people leave. And amazingly, it doesn't change. Whether it's pre-COVID, COVID, and I'm sure even when we come to post-COVID, it will still remain the same. What are the two top reasons? Number one, people can get along with their bosses. And number two, the feeling that they have been giving all of their worth and all of their work, and they still feel unappreciated. It's a leadership issue. It could have been easily solved if only these leaders would undergo leadership training. And then number three, the disparity in culture. What I mean is leaders say something and then they do something else. So there's confusion and creates a very toxic culture within the organization. So you don't tap into the potential of your people to achieve better things. As a matter of fact, that kind of inconsistency becomes a roadblock towards achieving better results. So there's a lot of other reasons, but those will be the top three in my sphere of experience.
What are the important leadership capabilities and skills you must have in the next normal to be able to continue to lead effectively, especially, understanding the three problems that you've shared with us earlier?
This is exactly what I present in my Level Up Leadership Master class.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, I won't be able to dive deeply into the details
Mm-hmm.
because this portion alone occupies an entire day, 3 hours. But these are the critical leadership skills that one should embrace, develop. I'm sure a lot of leaders have this, but they have to be conscious. And later on, I'll describe the reason and I'll define why they are called critical leadership skills. So here they
Mm-hmm.
are. One, problem solving skills. Two, critical thinking skills. Three, emotional intelligence. Four, leadership perspective, the ability to look at the situation from a leadership viewpoint. Four, values and ethics. You cannot, you cannot undermine this part. Five, resourceful resilience. No, 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 it's not just grit alone. You have to be resourceful. Why? Some people say you gotta have grit, you gotta have grit. And everybody appreciates Angela Duckworth's book on grit. But as an entrepreneur, you know there's a thin line that separates perseverance with stubbornness. So you gotta have you gotta have the resources in order to have perseverance and in order to have resilience, creative processing. How do you approach this in a creative manner, in a creative way? And what else? Effective communications, managing ambiguity. So these are critical leadership skills that are needed not only during this disruptive period, but will take us to where we want to go even when all of this COVID-19 is over. And let me explain why we I call this critical leadership skills. It is critical because of one simple reason. These are precisely the skills that can never, as in never, be replaced by technology and automation. These are extremely needed. And so, as a leader, they need to be developing all these skills in order to make good things happen. So, I hope that answers the question.